Hey, Missy, I just wanted to say you look really nice today. In a physically perfect, newly available kind of way.
Thanks. Extinguish all talking. Now, who can tell me how heroes are created? Gerald?
That's a tricky question. I don't think heroes are born. I think they're made.
This is
Sean Paul Van Dier.
And I'm Ray McGuff, and this is a special edition of SchlockFest.
On a very special SchlockFest.
It's a very special SchlockFest. It's like when Webster got molested.
Wrong guy.
Oh.
It wasn't Webster.
Well, why was his name on it? Was he molesting people?
He was not. You're thinking of Webster. It was actually from Different Strokes who got molested. It was Arnold.
Arnold.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember Different Strokes? It's a different show.
I do.
Two little black men. That's not racist.
Okay, well, so I got it mixed up, man. Shit happens.
Yes, he got molested by the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati. He owned the bike shop.
That's right.
And it was his friend that got molested.
That was my reference. So.
That was his reference.
Anyways.
On a very special.
This is a very special SchlockFest. We were taking the month off, but we decided to do a quick episode that we are going to discuss our top 3 favorite Schlockiest movies. Just to give you guys a little bonus material. We missed you. We miss our fans. So.
Yes, and we have so many new fans.
We do.
Because, I saw the Facebook group. We're gaining steam. Thank you, all of your fans.
Yes.
So just to kind of give you a taste of what we do here, we're giving you a very special SchlockFest.
Well, yeah, I mean, and generally what we would do is we would intro the movie, and then we would watch the movie, and then I would tell you how much I hate the movie.
So basically, I torture good old Ray over here, and it's a lot of fun.
Right.
And sometimes he ends up liking it.
But this time, what we're
kind
going
of like Webster liking getting touched by Mr. Drummond.
Yeah. Oh no, Mr. Drummond, not my ear hole. So anyway, anywho, what we'll be doing today is top 3 favorite Schlockiest movies, and what we'll do is if I could start or you want to start.
Oh, go ahead and start.
I'll start with 3, 2, 1, and then my top. One is my top pick, and on each one I will give the date that it came out, a little bit about the budget if I could find it, any notable directors or people associated with it, and then I'll explain why I enjoyed it and how I got to see it. Okay?
Fair.
All right. So let's kick this bad boy off. This is a special episode of Schlockfest.
Special.
Here we go. Ray's picks. Number 3, coming in at a hard 3.
Hard 3.
1992's Dead Alive.
Ooh, good one.
Peter Jackson. You've got the bite. One of my all-time favorite lines in any fucking movie or TV show.
I kick ass for the Lord.
That's also a popular one, but I used to run around saying "You've got the bite" to everybody.
Nice.
The budget of this movie was actually shocking. I had to double check it. It had a budget of $3 million.
Wow.
Box office gross total run $242,623.
Damn.
Now that was just the United States. It didn't say, Pete Jackson's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So it didn't have those figures that I could find. If you could find them on your own, feel free to drop them in the comments.
Google.
Well, I did. That's what I was Googling, but I couldn't really find any definite. Like I saw Joe Dickwad's, post about it, but I'm
no
like,
offense, Joe Dickwad.
Yeah, but I'm
no
like,
offense.
I'm not taking that as face value. So, but anyways, I didn't see this in 1992.
Oh.
I saw this the summer of 1999.
Uh-oh.
Hanging out with some buds from Enemy of Mine, Franklin, that runs ZTO TV.
All right.
Joshy Palmer, that runs ZTO TV. Jared the Talent Collins. Derek the Talent Collins. They vie for talent. And Derek Dunson, our buddy that we call Fish. We used to hang out at Josh's dad's house, all the time. Summertime rolled around, and I believe it was either Frank or Jerry. They brought this VHS out to watch on a summer day. in
So
'99.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Okay.
I've never been a big fan of, you know this about me, of extreme gore. Like, especially if it's realistic,
Yeah.
it makes me sick. But in this, like the first Texas Chainsaw made me physically ill the first time I saw
All
it.
right.
Even shit like The Exorcist, because it gets so realistic, it gets me. It makes me want to like vom a little,
Just a little.
just a little bit. But this movie had probably the most graphic scene I'd ever seen in a fucking movie at that point.
The boil?
Well, that was, yeah, boil into the oatmeal or what have you. But no, even grosser than that, straps on the fucking lawnmower.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and runs around, and it's like, it's the most blood I'd ever seen in a movie, ever. And to me, it was shocking and funny at the same time.
That's what that movie's going for,
Yeah.
I think.
When was your first encounter?
Oh, first encounter. It was probably 1994.
Okay.
I was working at a video store, and I absolutely just loved the cover. And I was just like, yes, I need to watch this movie. I also found out this is the same guy who made the wonderful classic Meet the Feebles,
Right, yeah.
which is another great Peter Jackson movie that I will torture you with.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since that. I believe that came out in 1999 as well.
Yeah, it did.
Well, I mean, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Again, same thing. I didn't see that till way later. But it is a terrible fucking movie.
It's wonderful.
It makes me laugh. Though.
It's Muppets meet Pulp Fiction
Yeah, it's fucking...
with some sex.
It's pretty crazy. But I'd never heard of Peter Jackson, and I wouldn't hear about him again until 2001 when the Lord of the Rings movie came out. Right? I mean, I think
Yeah.
it was 2001 or 2002. And I was like, the guy that did Dead Alive is doing a fucking Lord of the Rings movie? You know, are you kidding me? And it ended up being one of my favorite trilogies of all time.
It's a good trilogy. You know, the reason why he made that trilogy, it goes back to one of our SchlockFest that you can watch. Freddy's dead.
Oh,
He was one of the writers of one of the drafts for Freddy's Dead.
that's right. I remember you
and
telling
he
me
was
that.
going to be directing it, and David De Palma, who ran New Line at the time, loved him so much, but said, "You got some crazy, crazy ideas." You fast forward a couple of years, and the man is making the epic trilogy, which is known as The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And then poo-pooed on himself by making the Hobbit trilogy.
I actually like the first two Hobbit movies. I
Yeah.
think the third one has about 40 minutes of quality.
And by 40 minutes of quality, it means you could have just shown it in the previous movie.
Oh, absolutely. I have no qualms whatsoever that story needed to be no longer than about 4 hours, 5 hours tops,
If that.
if that. But that's just me, and I don't have a studio, so what do
No,
I?
you don't have studio.
Let's kick it into gear and hit number 2.
Number 2.
Ray's pick number dos. Taking a deuce. Here we go. 1984's The Toxic Avenger.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Directed by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz. This had a budget of a respectable, at this time I think it was respectable, $500,000.
That's good budget. That's usually a Kaufman production.
Yeah, I thought that, I was like, you know what? They made every penny of that work. You
Yeah,
know?
that's what they do.
Box office gross, surprisingly, $800,000.
I believe it.
Made $300,000 in the box office. That's before VHS hits.
Yeah.
So here's a little side note about Lloyd Kaufman. Old Lunchbox and I, we met him several times
Several times.
at
Good guy.
several cons. He remembers you. That's the
Yeah.
craziest thing about Lloyd Kaufman. That dude probably has the most nutty fan base. The second time around, we walked up to him and he fucking remembered us.
Yeah.
And he literally said to this man, "Hey, it's John Paul."
That's right.
And I couldn't stop laughing because then he turned to me and he goes, "I know you were with him." He didn't fucking know my
Yeah.
name.
You know, John Paul. There you go.
But we had got a friend of ours who goes by Sarah the Jew.
Yes.
And that's not us making that name up. That's her own choice.
That is her own choice.
We got her assigned. Well, you got her assigned DVD, and Lloyd thought it was hilarious.
He did.
That's how he remembered us.
did.
And he talked to us all day. I mean, he would talk to us forever.
He is like Stan Lee,
Yeah.
I imagine, in the world of
Schlock.
Schlock. Yeah.
He was super nice. He introduced us to a couple of trauma girls.
He did.
And we had a good time chatting them up.
He wanted to get Randy bedded, but
And
Randy got scared.
I got scared. They were very scary.
They were cute.
Trauma girls are scary girls. I like them. They're great, but they're a little intimidating. They're, like, come right up and ask if you want to be pissed on. That's like one of those things you got to work into for me. Like, I can't just go, yes, pee on me. I got to be in the mood for something like that. I'm going to be like, oh, I don't know. Well, are we going to a hotel? Definitely not doing it at my house.
She was going to do it right there, I think.
Yeah, I think she probably would.
Convention bro.
But the first time I ever saw Toxic Avenger, I did not see it in a traditional format. Saw it on TBS's Up All Night.
Ooh.
I think it was 92.
That's USA Up All Night.
1992-ish, or USA Up All Night, I'm sorry. I think it was in 1992-ish. 2, 3, 4, something like that.
Okay. Who was hosting? Was it Gilbert or was it the
it was Gilbert.
The girl.
Yeah, it was Gilbert.
Okay. So it was the early.
Yeah, 92 is why I'm thinking.
Yeah, so it was the early Up All Night.
When the girl took over, she was fantastic, but she played less quality movies.
I mean, they were different kind of movies.
Yeah. But at any rate, so I never saw the unedited version of this movie until about 5-10 years later. And I actually got it on VHS.
Nice.
And watched it in all its glory on VHS.
And you were like, what am I watching?
Let me tell you, though, one of my favorites, nerd, falls into some toxic sludge, becomes the Toxic Avenger.
Randy's dream.
One of my dreams. But when did you see this? You probably saw it at the video store, didn't you?
I probably saw it at the video store. Actually, no, I probably saw it before that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I became in love with horror just from watching, obviously, reruns of USA showing Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2 growing up. But in 1987, I was a young lad, and this 13-year-old neighborhood kid took me to my first rock concert, Guns N' Roses, and also introduced me to truly, truly schlocky movies. And I believe I watched that and a bunch of other weird trauma movies. Death by Temptation, which is a little out there.
Yeah.
Combat. I mean, just a couple little out there movies.
A little shout out to Aaron England Frank. He, when I first started hanging out with him, he found out from me talking about that I like Toxic Avenger movies. I like all 4. And he was like, oh, I'm a huge trauma fan. And I was like, oh, I didn't know back then as much about production companies. And
right.
So I was like, oh, I was thinking they're in the same vein. So he had me watch a few. Tromeo and Juliet, I think, was one.
All right.
Or maybe there was another one too. I can't remember the name of it. But it was just fucking weird. Those guys are weirdos, man.
Hey, low budgets.
Yeah. So I wasn't as impressed with all the trauma movies like a lot of my friends are. Yeah, you and Aaron especially. But I can appreciate what they do.
Yeah.
So
before you go to one, let me jump into mine, and then we'll do one as the epic conclusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? You want to do that?
Sure.
You want to do your one?
Well, go right ahead.
All
However
right.
you want to do. Well, because it might confuse people.
All right.
The way the format is.
All right.
So
go for it.
So
your number one.
My number one is Troll 2.
Ooh.
1990s Troll 2.
Yeah.
Director Claudio Fragrazio. Budget of $200,000. Box office unknown, it says.
Of course it is.
Yeah. I saw it in 94 VHS. My good friend's uncle, of all people, had this. And he had Troll 1 and Troll 2.
Did he diddle you, Peter?
No,
Okay.
no. He was a genuinely nice man.
Okay, good.
So let's not say anything bad about it. He was
All
just a good dude.
Good dude.
And he used to let me borrow movies. I borrowed Alien that's the first time I saw that from him.
Nice.
He had a ton of VHS movies. But he let me borrow this, and to this day it's still I love the documentary, the best worst horror movie, best worst movie.
Yeah.
But to this day it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I can watch it any time and enjoy it. It's so fucking stupid. Neil Bog for life.
So I'm so glad you say that because that means I can scratch that one off my list that I was going to torture you with
Oh yeah, I love
because
it.
you
man.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the first time I've seen it because I've seen it several times. I remember buying a DVD at the dollar store that was Troll 1 and 2 and watching them both back to back and going, wait a minute.
DVD.
DVD. This is what's crazy about this.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time. This is what this was weird. This is the first time I saw Troll 1
Oh, okay.
because I remember seeing Troll 2, but I'm like, what is Troll 1? And then I realized that those movies have nothing to do with each other.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio is in Troll 1, right?
No.
Oh, who is that?
You're thinking of the Critters movie with Leo.
Okay, well, but in Troll 1, there's a
Is there a
quasi celebrity.
I can't remember.
Oh boy, now I gotta look it
Now
up.
he's got to look it up.
But yeah, man, DVD, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Saw it on VHS.
No,
Winner.
again, I've seen it
Oh.
on VHS, but I remember this double feature disc that I got that I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Winner.
Yeah. So that's your number one.
So that's my number one.
Schlockiest movie.
Those are Ray's Schlockiest Films.
Okay, so I like all the things I do in life, I don't follow direction very well. So I'm gonna just give you random schlocks, and I'm gonna put them in a random order.
Yeah, that's not what I said to do at all.
I know that's not.
You're
what I
out of
said.
fucking control over here, sir.
That's right. That's right. I'm going out of control. So I'll give you fine. I'll give you 3. Number 3 is a movie I learned about 6 months ago, and then it was brought up to me recently by my wife's cousin Mark. So shout out to you, Mark. That's right, boys and girls. It's Commando Ninja. All right. So first off, let me tell you how much of a winner this movie is. It was crowdfunded. Wonderful. Secondly, you boys and girls can watch it for free right now on the YouTubes. It's an hour and 2 minutes of goodness. Commando Ninja. That's right, boys and girls. How do I describe Commando Ninja? Well, it's an English language film that is dubbed back into English from its French origin. Because that makes sense.
Right.
It basically pays homage to all the movies that you love from the 80s. Let me give you one.
Hit me with it.
Commando.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an 80s film.
The Terminator.
That's also an early 80s. or late
Rambo
80s.
First Blood.
80s.
Rambo Part 2.
Is that 80s?
That is 80s.
I was
90s was the
Part
third one.
3.
Yeah.
And
The Predator.
80s.
And everybody's classic, American Ninja. Are you familiar with American Ninja
I
series?
love the American Ninja series.
All right.
Canon
see?
Films player.
Yeah, Canon Films. That's right. So, Commando Ninja is basically the story of Vietnam vet. Because, I mean, that happens in all the 80s movies. They're all Vietnam vets because that was closest war to them, so why not? There's Green Beret, known as Lizard Smokes. And Lizard Smokes, gets ambushed by ninjas randomly at the beginning of this movie, and craziness ensues. I'm going to just give you this little taste and say, seek it out, because I think we're going to have to do it in a future SchlockFest.
Sounds terrible.
It's perfect for Schlock. I would give you a budget, but honestly, I'm going to say, since it was crowdfunded, 50 cents.
Man, I don't want to watch no fucking crowd-funded movie.
Oh,
Are
you're
you
going to
kidding
love
me
it.
with this?
I guarantee you're going to love it.
I mean, Jesus Christ, out of all the schlock we could watch, you fucking digging in the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, you asked me to bring the bottom. Well, come on. John even travels to Central America, to my homeland, Nicaragua. And there's this great scene where his wife dies, and the way she dies is knock on the door, pizza delivery, man. She's like, but I didn't order any pizza. He's like, I got you a pizza with extra bullets. And out comes an Uzi and shoots this woman.
I don't fucking want to do that
It's
at all.
awesome.
It sounds horrible.
It's awesome. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Boys and girls, seek it out because he's going to love it.
Sounds
We might do it in the future.
awful.
All right. We'll go number 2.
All right.
You're going to like this one. And, I'm gonna suggest, if you guys want us to do these, just comment below. My Boyfriend's Back. You familiar with My Boyfriend's Back?
Jesus, I haven't seen that.
1993 classic.
That came out
Schlock.
in 93. I think I rented it in 94 on
Probably because
VHS.
it was in and out of the video store.
Oh my god, and I remember it not being good.
Let me tell you about this. So, are you familiar with that movie that came out a couple years ago about a zombie Romeo and Juliet story?
Yeah, it was something...
Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies, yeah.
Warm Bodies. And everyone's like, oh my gosh,
This-
that's the first time I've ever seen the zombie genre where it's a comedy and it's a romantic comedy.
Wrong.
And I called bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I thought of 1993's My Boyfriend's Back. The movie, you would think somewhere in the movie, that movie will play that song, My Boyfriend's Back.
They don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
The movie's set in the 90s or the 50s, depending on which scene you're watching in the movie.
Yeah.
It's bizarre as shit. Premise, basically this guy is obsessed with this girl, has some weird sex fuck dreams about her. And, I'm not lying.
I had some weird sex fuck dreams.
The opening dream where he's dreaming about her is he is trying to bed her while there's a crowd of people, and out comes the yellow flag because he wasn't regulation size. This is apparently regulation size in his dream.
Hey, that is regulation size.
In his dream.
Some guys got
Anyway.
it, some guys don't.
Some don't.
What up?
But anyways, it's a good take on racism because people hate him because he's the undead. But another fun fact that is so crazy, you're not gonna believe me, they're not gonna believe me, but look it up. So everybody thinks that Matthew McConaughey's first movie was what movie?
Dazed and Confused.
That is incorrect.
Fuck you.
Before he did that, he did Texas Chainsaw Massacre
3.
The Next Generation.
Yeah, okay.
But before that, he was in this movie. That's right, boys and girls. He was in My Boyfriend's Back. You know who else was in that?
Huh.
Renee Zellweger.
Ugh.
But her scene got cut, so you can get the DVD and see her deleted scene. But it's kind of funny because then her first movie ended up being...
Or you cannot do that.
Her next movie ended up being the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
That's true. She
with
was.
Matthew McConaughey. But you know who else this has? This has an actor that you absolutely love. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh.
Yeah. He plays a fat asshole.
Boy,
who is just a bully.
that seems like
Typecast.
typecasting.
Yeah, I mean, just, hey, from one of his first roles to this,
My favorite role of his is Lester Bangs, but
Okay, cool. That's a good role. But in this role, Buck is fucking awesome.
classic name.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Chuck Barodowski.
I was going to say
just call
Chuck
him-
Bartowski?
Whatever.
That's wrong.
No, that's wrong. All right. Here, I'm sorry. I got his role and then the lead other role in this movie. You ready for this? He's not the zombie, but he's the other guy, Matthew Fox. That's right, from Lost.
Boy, I didn't even know Matthew Fox was in movies.
Before Lost, that's
Yeah.
right. Lost is Ray over here's favorite show. Till I ruined it for him. I did it again, boys and girls.
Yeah, you ruined it for me like a decade ago. I don't
And
care.
it was awesome because I solved it before everybody else did.
Oh, yeah, you solved it.
Yes.
You're a fucking solver, for
Hey.
sure.
I called Game of Thrones, didn't
Shut up.
I?
Go on to your next one.
My number one pick. I had to throw in a trauma film in here.
I figured you would.
I had to.
That's why I still went with Toxie because I was
You
like,
went with Toxie.
I'm sure you'll pick a different one.
Of course. I picked one that you've mentioned, but part of the reason why I picked this one is when we were living together, I made you watch this movie,
Yeah.
and you said you kind of remembered it, but not really.
Yeah.
It makes me think you maybe have not seen it. That is the wonderful, written and directed James Gunn's classic, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, see, this is what I was saying. I remember Frank had me watch it, but I so grossed out by most of
Yeah.
it. I kept getting up, so I didn't watch. And then you would have me watch it again.
Yeah.
And it was still as terrible.
Yeah, so Romeo and Juliet is actually the movie in question that we had autographed by Lloyd,
Yeah.
which was cool. It's got an amazing soundtrack. I mean, it is Romeo and Juliet story, but with a trauma flair.
The thing
Some body piercing.
The thing I liked about it, and this is true with all James Gunn movies, is it had smart dialogue
Yes.
that was funny.
Yes.
But
Fingers, give me fingers.
yeah, but there was too much existential nutty shit that was just too much for me.
It has a penis monster.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. The movie has a scene, which the clip out is great if you find it on YouTube. It's there. Where the penis monster comes out. And it is the most scariest thing ever. And I remember Randy going, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, I went, why the fuck would you have me watch this? I don't even want to watch
Yes.
this.
But it also has Lemmy,
Yeah.
you know. And it has a lot of James Gunn's family because, it's trauma. You just put in the family. Lloyd Kaufman, Found a Peanut. The Found a Peanut scene is another great scene in that movie because it's great. Like every staple of the trauma films, there's got to be the car flipping. And the car flips
Yeah.
while the kids are finding the peanut. And it's great. It is probably one of my favorite Schlockiest movies. Eventually, yes, I'm going to make you watch it again. Because it's been a while for you watching it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since we
Yeah.
lived together.
It's also where the line that I almost named this podcast, but wait, it gets stupider. Because, but wait, it gets stupider. But yeah, I mean, James Gunn, amazing director, amazing writer, just recently produced the movie I just saw, Brightburn, and
I hear
great.
good things.
His brother wrote it. His brother's actually in Romeo and Juliet, so that's my number one pick for crazy nuttiest of the Schlockies. If you guys have any suggestions, put them in the comments below. Also, if you want any of these wonderful movies you want us to talk about, or want me to torture Randy with any of my three, let's go for it. Let's maybe even put a poll down. Put a poll down, Frank.
Put a poll out there,
Put a
Frank.
poll, Frank.
Get a poll out there.
Commando Ninja, My Boyfriend's Back, or Romeo and Juliet. We'll do it.
And you guys can thank me in the comments for actually taking this seriously.
He did.
And having three solid
He was prepared.
things, But yeah, that's all I got. We will be filming an all new episode in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Of our classic format. Stay tuned. Check out all of our previous podcasts and all of our podcasts on Podbean, as well as ZTO TV on Facebook. Do you have anything else to add?
Ooh, we got T-shirts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Get our T-shirts.
yeah. Buy some T-shirts.
Buy some T-shirts.
I'm gonna buy stuff. I bought one. I gotta buy one Friday.
I'm buying one as well because I like to what's that term? Selfishly promote myself.
I like to selflessly promote myself.
Yes, or shamelessly promote myself. That's what it is.
Selflessly would be a weird way
Yeah,
to say that.
yeah. I'm basically a whore.
But I will be buying one. Buy one for your kids. Buy one for your
Yeah,
parents.
they come in all sizes,
Come in all
colors.
sizes.
The brown one, the shit brown one is a beautiful
That's the-
way to go if you wish.
I might buy one and give it at the Shitty Prize giveaway next time.
Yeah, good idea.
But as always, thank you very much for watching. You're what keeps us going.
Yes,
You're in my heart.
they're in his heart.
All right. This has been Ray McGuff.
And Jean-Paul Mantia.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.